going on, everybody? Chris Jones here with the World's Worst Fishing. Welcome back, and thanks so much for tuning in. So this will be a very different kind of video. I've never made a video just sitting around talking about baits and philosophy and life. Yeah, this will be a first. So I'll start with, I guess, a premise, right? Or, I guess ask the question, what life lessons can we learn from bait making, right? How does our passion to create and to get better at this, let me make sure I'm in focus, how does that relate to life as a whole, maybe, and what can it teach us? What can it teach me? So I'll start by telling a little story about when I first started bait making. Okay, so this would have been a long time ago now, guys. Probably September of 2012. I know it was fall of 2012. Sorry if I keep looking over here, it's because I'm trying to focus. So that's when I made my first bait ever. My parents invested $500 into my first into my first kit, right? 5 gallons of plastic from Lure Craft, a Delmart mold, a Delmart injector, just a few colors, just a few flakes, and before you know it, you're at $500. And my first couple of colors were really bad. Okay, this is about as bad as you can get when the learning curve nowadays is so incredibly cut, and I like to think I have a lot to do with that. And in some of the old school forums and the Facebook groups now, but that was sort of what I set out to do on YouTube. So I'm actually happy to see that. But back in my day, like what people are doing their first week now, you did not do your first week back in 2012. And so I made a lot of really ugly colors for a long time and did not understand plastic durometers. I'd make a worm and it would be rock hard. Just not really understanding my processes. And for the longest time, I could not make watermelon red. Okay, watermelon red being one of the great basic single colors. Everybody now is making watermelon red right away. Well, I struggled with it really hard, okay? I was chasing Zoom's color, okay? Like, my watermelon red, in my mind, was not going to be good unless it looked exactly like Zoom. Little did I know, there are probably better watermelon reds than Zoom's, but Zoom was the standard, okay? And I spent months just beating my head in, why can't I get mine to look like Zoom's watermelon red? Like, if I hold it up to light, it looks really brown. If I don't, it looks really green. And why can't I get that effect? And I was making some pretty good watermelon reds, but they did not look like Zoom. And I just remember being so discouraged over watermelon red, guys, watermelon red. And eventually what I realized was I have a great watermelon red. I was too hung up on chasing someone else's watermelon red that I didn't stop and think, you know what, I've got a pretty good one of my own, right? I was too busy trying to compare myself to a bait pumped out by a machine by the hundreds of thousands, probably millions every year. And I didn't notice that I could do something better, right? I was too worried about this other standard than my own. And I think that's what a lot of us do in life, okay? We live in a time, we live in an era right now of instant satisfaction, okay? I mean, look at what social media has done to us. We're all glued to our phones, and our attention spans suck. We don't focus on tasks as well, I think, as the generation before us. We're just sitting here going, I need instant dopamine. I need something that instantly catches my attention. On and on and on and on and on. And even worse than that is the expectation of others, okay? So sort of going back to worrying too much about trying to master Zoom's watermelon red, how many of us are trying to master someone else's life, okay? You know, all this pressure on social media to live that, you know, fun, exciting life, I think makes a lot of people not stop and smell the roses of their own life, right? Oh, look at these people on Instagram. They're so happy. They're doing all these fun, amazing things, and here I am stuck in a rut, and I feel like I don't have any excitement in my life, and I need to chase a high over here, a high over there. I need to chase a better watermelon red. Why, you know, like why can't I have this watermelon red over here? You know, is there something wrong with my watermelon pigment? You know, like, do I need to, you know, buy 10 different ones before I'm satisfied? And I think a lot of that, you know, can parallel life. We get so focused on, and this goes for me too, I'm normal like anyone else, but like, how often are we seeing maybe a couple posting all these pictures of how perfect their family is, and, you know, they're traveling and having all this fun and doing new things, and you feel like you're not. So what's wrong with me? Why am I not having fun? And I think that's how you live your life, worried about chasing somebody else's life and not appreciating your own. And that's a hard lesson to learn. You know, it was a hard lesson for me to learn that I'll never recreate Zoom's exact watermelon red recipe. I don't know their pigment base. I don't have their pigment base. It's probably Color Technologies, you know, which is LureWorks as we know it. But who knows what they're using? You know, Zoom is so big. I know at one point they made their own plastisol. So me trying to chase the watermelon, you know, I guess the lesson is, don't chase the watermelon red to the point to where you miss out on your own watermelon red. And I guess that's, you know, just some thoughts that I've had on life recently. You know, all around me, I feel like there are relationships falling apart, whether they are marriages, friendships, or what have you. A lot of people are stuck on this notion that the grass is greener. I'm bored, I'm not having fun anymore, and look at these people over here or over here, right? Like, I feel pressured to have the life that they have, and I don't. So, you know, I want out of this relationship, or I'm gonna, you know, abandon these friends because they're holding me down, or, you know, I think it leads to a lot of to a lot of people not appreciating maybe what they have. And you know, I just think that's something that we deal with maybe more so in our generation. A lot of it to do with social media. And look, you know, hey, I'm on social media talking to you right now. It can be a good thing. You know, it has enabled me to build this platform to share a hobby that I love. But I think it can also be a trap where we now feel like we're not achieving enough, or we're not having enough fun. And I really hate to see people maybe miss out on the beauty of their own life and think that, oh, I'm not having fun and I want to do something else. The grass is not always greener. And in fact, I think it's often not greener. The watermelon red is not better over here. You know, the watermelon isn't greener on the other side always. You know, and back to bait making a little bit, you know, I still chase things, you know. I mean, nowadays, you know, whenever I really just want my mind blown, I go look at Jeff Peel's catalog, you know. And I actually have one of his pours right here. You're not going to be able to see it worth a darn on this. Yeah, I love the colors there. You're not really going to be able to see it well in this lighting, but, you know, I have to be careful, right? If I just constantly chase some of his patterns and compare my work to his, I'm going to miss out on developing my own voice, right? In the bait shop. And so I think just the overall lesson is, don't chase the watermelon red. I think it is so easy nowadays for us to compare our lives to everyone around us because everybody's lives are now public. 20 years ago, you wouldn't be going, ugh, why am I not living up to my friends and having as much fun as they are, or why do I not look as pretty as this person, or as good looking as this guy over here? Why are my kids not performing in school as well? There's so many things that we can look at because everybody makes everything public now. It can really make you think that you're not happy and you're not living your life to its fullest potential. And I would just say there's a difference in happiness and fulfillment. So me personally, I wake up every morning and I have a harder and harder time as I get older getting out of bed. I used to just pop up like a daisy. I get up in the morning and the last thing that I want to accomplish that day is being happy. I don't chase being happy because happiness is a feeling tied to emotion. Well, what do emotions and feelings do? They change. They change based on, your mood, your circumstances, how you react to circumstances. They ebb and flow. So I don't want to live my life thinking that I have to feel happy or chasing an emotion that I know is going to change. It's inevitably going to be different day in, day out. Instead, what I try to accomplish is fulfillment, okay? Did I do a good job at work? Was I a good parent? Did I, provide? Maybe I, did an extra load of dishes, or, spent an extra hour with my children. Maybe I, bought some flowers for my wife, or, did something nice for somebody else. Instead of going, oh, it's all about me and I need to just feel happy all the time because, everyone's chasing happy. I mean, go read any self-help book and it's 10 steps to happiness or 10 steps to a better you. Yeah, to me, if you wake up and your goal is to chase an emotion, you are inevitably going to fail, because it doesn't matter how hard you work at that. You're chasing a feeling based on your reaction, your emotional and sometimes chemical reaction to your circumstances. So we're getting a little off topic here, but my goal every day is to try to be better at things, whether it's here in the bait shop. Can I increase my level of my craft and of my YouTube content? Can I be a better husband? Can I be more patient with my children? Can I not worry so much about what other people are doing? Can I not chase the watermelon red here, there, and everywhere, which we're all guilty of? I don't know. Those have just been some things on my mind, and I think it's a tragedy that so many people are bowing out of their lives because they're chasing a high somewhere else, and they just feel like, oh, I'm not having fun anymore. And I would challenge everyone to stop worrying about what you see, because what you see on social media, that happy couple or that person who's just killing it in life, you're only seeing their highlights. You're only seeing the best parts. And that's not to say that their lives all suck, because I'm a pretty positive person. I don't think that. But you're chasing something that's also not real. Like Zoom's watermelon red. That is something that I probably cannot achieve because I don't know the recipe. I don't have the pigment base. It's not my monkey, not my circus, right? So that's I guess where I'm going with all this. So yeah, if there's anything to be learned from bait making, it's definitely patience, discipline. You will learn that you have to practice, especially the high-end hand pouring. But I think you can also parallel some of these things. And I just remember being so hung up on watermelon red. It was so discouraging. At one point I was even considering quitting. And then nowadays I have to not chase Jeff Peel as much, because I'll miss out on all the great things that I can do and the techniques and, patterns and looks that I've developed. And I think that parallels life. maybe the grass isn't greener. Maybe your watermelon red is perfect like it is. And just to sort of, give a visual demonstration of that point, this being your watermelon red, well, maybe you've already done something really great, right? Maybe you've been too hung up on, chasing your watermelon red. That's a Jeff Pill pour, by the way. Maybe you don't realize, hey, you perfected your own watermelon red, or something in your life that you think is lacking, and you're comparing it to something else. And these are obviously two different patterns, but the point being, you know what? You might already be there and you don't even know it. So, anyways, much different video. Thank you guys for watching, whoever would actually watch this and listen. Hope it, finds you well, and we will continue to bring more bait making content going forward. Just wanted to share a few thoughts. See you guys next time.